All right, let's dive into something huge, Bollywood. We're talking about that incredible industry of glamour and epic stories that, well, basically sells dreams to over 1 billion people.
I mean, we all grow up with these films, right? They're everywhere, on our phones, our TVs, and they offer this dazzling escape into a world where everyone is perfect and the emotions are just grand. It's a fantasy, and it's a really powerful and alluring one. But here's the big question we're really digging into today. What's the real-world cost of buying into this fantasy? Is that beautiful world we see on screen setting an impossible standard that's, quietly chipping away at our own reality?
So, let's start with one of Bollywood's biggest and most powerful exports, the filmy love story. This is where that line between what's real and what's on screen gets really blurry.
I mean, think about it. You know this story. We've all seen it 1,000 times. The daughter of some millionaire falls head over heels for the charming but totally broke hero. They fight off her angry dad, maybe a villain or two, and bam, love conquers all and they ride off into the sunset.
So, on screen, the heroine is totally fine trading her mansion for a tiny little apartment, all smiles, because, love is all that matters. But in reality, our source points out that financial stress is one of the biggest strains you can put on a relationship. And look, this isn't about being greedy or materialistic. It's about the very real, very hard struggle of building a life without any kind of stability.
And this quote just brilliantly nails the double standard that's almost always at play. The source asks this really sharp question. If you flip the roles, would the rich guy give up his inheritance for love? The argument is probably not. He'd almost certainly pick the property. So why do movies constantly sell us this idea that a woman should, and happily will, give up everything?
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. The creator of our source material shared a pretty personal story. After she watched the movie Vivah, where the hero marries the heroine even after she's badly burned, she started wondering, would a real husband ever do that? She then puts that beautiful movie moment right up against the horrific reality that in India, so many women are killed over dowry disputes. The fantasy isn't just unrealistic. It can actually hide some really, really dark truths.
Okay, so let's move on from romance and tackle another powerful illusion, the real truth behind all that glamour. Have you ever actually noticed this during a song sequence? It's kind of funny when you think about it. The scene is set on some snowy mountain in Switzerland. The hero, he's all bundled up in a thick jacket and boots, looking comfortable. And the heroine, she's out there dancing in a chiffon sari or hot pants, apparently immune to frostbite. We just accept it, but it's completely, utterly detached from reality.
So why? Why does this happen? Well, our source gives a very blunt and maybe a little cynical answer. It's a business. These visuals aren't about telling a realistic story. They're about creating a product that sells. And glamour, sex appeal, spectacle, well, that's just part of the business model.
And that commercial pressure starts to trickle down into how we all think. The person behind our source material was actually told by a viewer she should dress more like a glamorous actress, Moni Roy, if she wanted to be attractive. And that led to this really important question. Has Bollywood's definition of beauty become the only definition?
So the key is kind of break this idea down. First off, glamour is a personal choice. It's not a requirement for being beautiful. Second, that perfection you see on screen, it's totally manufactured. Our source points out that without a whole team of stylists and makeup artists, a lot of celebrities look, well, just like us. And finally, and this one's so important, in the real world, your personal safety can be way more important than whatever fashion trend is in the movies.
And that brings us to our third big myth. And honestly, this one might be the most damaging of them all. It's the illusion of time and success.
3 hours. Just think about that number. That's how long a typical Bollywood blockbuster runs. It's such a tiny, tiny window of time.
And yet, in those 3 hours, we watch a character go from absolute zero to having it all. They find their soulmate, they crush one obstacle, land a dream job, get married, and by the end credits, they're living in some giant mansion. It's a whole life journey, totally compressed.
And this right here is where our brains can get all twisted up. Movies make success look like it happens in the snap of a finger. But reality? As we all know deep down, reality is a marathon. It takes years and years of struggle, of setbacks, of just relentless hard work to get even a tiny piece of what a movie hero gets in a single song montage.
So why is this a big deal? Because according to our source, this constant, totally unfair comparison is basically a recipe for unhappiness. When young people especially look at their own slow, difficult, messy journey and compare it to that instant success on screen, it can lead to feeling like a failure, to frustration, and sometimes even to real depression.
So if the movie script is this beautiful lie, how do we start reclaiming our own story? Well, here's the final and I think really empowering message on how to be the hero of your own story. And the advice is actually pretty simple. First, you just have to make a conscious choice to stop measuring your life against a 3-hour movie. They're just not the same thing. Second, you have to accept that you are perfect just the way you are, right now, on your own path.
And third, shift all that energy from wishing you had a movie life to actually working on making your real life better, one small, authentic step at a time. You know, it all boils down to this really powerful idea. The goal isn't to live in some fantasy. The real goal is to stop blaming yourself for not living up to one, and instead to pour all of that energy into building a real life that is perfect for you.
So we'll leave you with this final thought. A film absolutely needs a hero to move the plot forward. But in the movie of your life, the director's chair is empty, and that lead role, it's waiting. The only question is, who are you going to cast?